The Golden State Warriors keep on winning. They can't seem to make up any ground. 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they are still fighting in that play-in spot. Not even top 8 right now, looking up at the Mavericks, at the Kings. Cyrus Saatsaz from Locked On Warriors joins me now. And Cyrus, I mentioned this hot streak that they're on, looking like the Warriors we thought they could be. Maybe even better, frankly, with some of the young pieces who are coming through here. But they're doing it with Klay Thompson on the bench and some of the changes with these younger guys. What has that given them?
Defense. I think that's the first and foremost thing you're noticing in terms of the young players stepping up. Sorry about my puppy. I don't know what's going on with him. But defensively, this is, I believe, the second time in 4 games where the Golden State Warriors have held an opponent below 100 points, which in today's NBA is all the more fascinating. They win tonight 100-99. 3 games ago at home against the Hornets, they held them to 84 total points, just 29 points in the first half. So it's defense. That's what you're seeing. And before the Andrew Wiggins absence, you noticed Steve Kerr staggering him and Klay Thompson because Wiggins and Klay as a duo this year have a net rating of minus 134. And collectively, those two have been a problem on the defensive side. I know Wiggins has been improving in recent weeks, but he's now out indefinitely, and Moses Moody has stepped in, and Moody is a fantastic defensive player. So that's what the youth has brought. It's brought defense, and that's really what this team has needed.
Yeah, the starting lineup right now is Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and 3 of the young guys. And so maybe that whatever they called it, the 2 timelines thing has actually worked out just a little bit later than they thought. And it got them a title in the meantime, by the way. I feel like we have to reset expectations for Jonathan Kuminga because he was someone coming out of the draft where it was like, okay, we know physically what the talent is, but he has, when given opportunities after he had to basically bully Steve Kerr in the media to get him to play, he was 25 and 8 in the game last night. What have you seen from him, and how good can Jonathan Kuminga be?
Well, as anyone who has been an everydayer for Locked On Warriors, they've heard me since Jonathan Kuminga's rookie year advocate for the kid, rave about the kid. I've loved him from day one, and it's been a point of frustration for me last year when he wasn't getting the minutes that I thought he should have been getting, just because, like you said, he's got the athleticism. He's a borderline freak of nature when it comes to his physique and what he could do on the court. Those monster dunks are visually most representative of that. But what really sticks out for him and why I think he's going to be a phenomenal player, I really don't know what his ceiling is yet. I've asked various people. Mark Jones, one of the voices of the NBA, was on the program last week. I asked him this, who's his comp? Like what other player in the past or present can you compare Kuminga to? And he said maybe Paul George, but he might just be a unique specimen in that regard, where he just is a standalone player. My personal feeling is his ceiling could be Jason Tatum-ish in terms of where he ends up. He still needs to work on his outside shot. His 3-point shot this year has struggled. Last year, he shot 37%, almost 38 from beyond the arc, which is not bad at all. That number took a dip this year a little bit. But ultimately, what I see from him, he's ambidextrous. And he was showing that from the moment he joined the team, which is a very, in my at least humble opinion, a grossly underrated aspect of a player in terms of causing massive problems for the defense. Just because with a lot of players, you see opposing defensive players, sorry to be redundant, try to square up and force someone to go in one direction to get an advantage. You can't do that with Kuminga. He's as good with his left as he is with his right. He does have fantastic touch on the ball. And he's also a basketball progeny. What people don't realize is his dad could have been an NBA player, was a pro player in Africa, chose to stay in Africa for romantic reasons. He chose to stay there to be with his wife. They ended up having Jonathan and 3 brothers, and his brothers could be players as well someday. So he's got the lineage, he's got the athleticism, but he's also got the little things, feel for the game, as I mentioned, touch. He's a complete player. And at this point, he's still very young. He's the second youngest player in the Warriors, behind just Brandon Pajemski, but they only have 3 months separating them. So the future is bright for this kid. He's barely 21, and I am so excited to see what's to come.
Stay up to date all year on the Golden State Warriors by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Warriors on your favorite podcast app. and on YouTube.